Hi everybody, Scott here. In this video we're going to talk about how to wake up a sleeping NI. Now just before we start, just to let you know that I am a counsellor and an MBTI practitioner. If you would like to know more about that, feel free to click the link in this video and there'll be a link also in the description. Like most people watching my videos would be aware, NI really is countercultural. It really operates counter to the culture, and we'll look more into that as we go along. If we want to build confidence, we've got to practice, and practice enables us to build trust in our abilities. Now for an NT, that's most likely something like debating, having conversations, testing out their logic, sparring with others verbally to build their cognitive ability. For an SP, it's more likely the doing of something, going out having lots and lots of different experiences to build confidence in that external world. For the SJ, it's probably more about helping people, about getting into community, building networks, that sort of thing. Those are the sorts of things that the other temperaments generally do to build confidence. For the NF temperament, it is cooperation, building harmony with other people. Now, how does the INFJ build cooperation with their NI? Now, an analogy to try to unpack this a little more is if someone wants to build muscle mass, they probably need to go to the gym. They need to get on into a program and be lifting weights and progressively increasing those weights and looking at muscle tone and weight and all of these things, being very conscious, being very deliberate, being very measured in all of those areas to achieve the goal. Now with NI, it's essentially the opposite in the sense that it's about relaxing, it's about getting calm, it's about getting still in some respects at least. Certainly that's an element to it, where it's almost about disengagement, which we'll unpack further also as we go along, but it's essentially not being consciously active in order to engage with NI. Now, one of the reasons for that more disengaging approach to NI, which we'll unpack more, is, I should say, underlying that is a principle. And the principle is that control destroys relationships. And any control or any attempt to try to control NI destroys the ability to connect with NI. Now, there's another principle in regards to relationships, which is if you're not free to be in relationship until you know that you're free to be out of relationship. Meaning, when two people are in relationship, if there is control, then there isn't relationship. Control isn't relationship. It's the opposite, essentially. Whereas where two people are in relationship and they know that they're not controlling it and the other is free to leave it, and both are aware that they're allowed to leave if they want to, and they set the other person free to leave, like there's no control, then the relationship ironically has the best chance for survival because they both want to be in it, because there's not this added complication where there's control to try to keep them in it. So essentially both want to stay because they know that they're free to leave. And that is I guess a segue into the INFJ-NI relationship, whereby where there's no control, the person's not trying to control it, trying to actively engage with it and be anxiously trying to get insight and things like this, then they're more able to gain that insight. Now, when someone is in relationship, or there's a couple in relationship, if there is control, it's very important for the survival of the relationship to figure out the why of it. And that's the same for the INFJ and their NI, is if they're not connected to it, if they're not sensing it, if it's not available to them, there's a good chance that the INFJ is trying to control it or something in their lives that is disrupting their ability to be available to their NI. So it's really important to get to the bottom of any of the whys, like the why of any control that's going on that might disrupt NI. So for the other temperaments, where it's through the doing, it's through the practicing that builds confidence and skills in regards to their cognitive abilities, it's through essentially the not doing for the INFJ, in the sense of the quieter, the more observant, if you like, to the environment and to the self, the more confidence is built in NI, because it's going to be more available and more trustworthy through that I guess you could also say trusting that NI will be there for them when it's required. So just that idea of, if I set NI free, then it's going to be available to me. So to summarize, if you're feeling like you're not connected to NI in the way that you should, there's a good chance that you're trying to control something. Either NI itself, or an aspect of your life that's causing anxiety, causing stress, something that's causing a disturbance that essentially disconnects you from NI. And ironically, it's about resolving those things so that you can set NI free, like in the relational sense, set NI free so that it is available to you in relationship. So get the why right, figure out what the why is, and NI will be there for you. Now, where this can be an additional challenge is in relationships with others, where FE is more of a factor, where the INFJ's FE is overactive in an engagement that leads to a diminishing of NI in that environment, but we'll go into that in another video, so stay tuned for that. So an encouragement for you in this video is, if it's resonating with you, a challenge might be to spend some time figuring out what the why is of any control that you're aware of in your life that might be hindering NI engagement. And feel free to leave a comment below in regards to your insights into what might be hindering your NI. So just a reminder that I am a counsellor and an MBTI practitioner. If those services are of interest to you, feel free to click the link in this video or in the description below. So if you managed to get to the end of this video, thank you very much for watching to the end. I hope you found it helpful, and I'll see you again in another video.